Did you know that nearly 1 in 13 babies born in the United States has at least one undocumented parent? That single fact is at the heart of one of the most controversial legal and political battles playing out in America right now. In 2025, birthright citizenship, long considered a settled constitutional right, is facing its most direct and organized legal challenge in modern history, led by President Donald Trump and his allies. The question they've raised isn't new. Should simply being born on U.S. soil make you a citizen? But the scale, coordination, and urgency of their efforts mark a dramatic escalation in the fight over who gets to be called an American. Birthright citizenship is rooted in the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which declares that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. It was written in 1868 to ensure full citizenship for formerly enslaved individuals and their descendants. For generations, this principle has defined what it means to be American, a nation where anyone born here belongs here, no matter their parents' immigration status. But in 2025, that promise is being tested like never before. President Trump, once again a dominant force in Republican politics, is leading an aggressive push to challenge birthright citizenship in the courts. His legal team is now supporting a wave of lawsuits in federal courts, aiming to force the Supreme Court to revisit the 14th Amendment's Citizenship Clause and potentially overturn more than a century of precedent. The Trump-aligned argument hinges on a controversial interpretation of the phrase, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. His legal team and conservative advocacy groups now argue that children born to undocumented immigrants are not fully under U.S. jurisdiction and therefore should not automatically qualify for citizenship. This position directly contradicts the 1898 Supreme Court ruling in United States v. Wong Kim Ark, which held that children born on U.S. soil, regardless of their parents' citizenship status, are American citizens under the 14th Amendment. That landmark decision has stood for over 125 years, shaping how the U.S. has welcomed and defined its people. But President Trump's legal allies argue that the ruling was too broad, outdated, and vulnerable to reinterpretation given today's immigration realities. Their efforts are not just theoretical. In multiple states, lawsuits are now moving through federal courts, some backed by Republican-led state governments and others by legal organizations aligned with President Trump's America First agenda. One high-profile case in Texas, now making its way toward the appellate level, involves a child born to undocumented parents who was denied a birth certificate on the grounds that her parents were not lawfully present in the country. The case, which President Trump's legal team is actively supporting, is widely seen as a potential test vehicle for the Supreme Court. If the court agrees to hear the case, and especially with its current conservative majority, it could lead to a historic ruling that narrows or even ends birthright citizenship as we know it. This legal battle is not occurring in isolation. It's part of a broader 2025 political strategy aimed at reshaping America's immigration system from the ground up. President Trump has made curbing undocumented immigration a cornerstone of his platform, and targeting birthright citizenship has become a centerpiece of that campaign. In speeches, rallies, and interviews, he frames the policy as an open door for abuse, accusing immigrants of exploiting U.S. laws to gain a foothold in the country. His administration, though not currently in power, is exerting significant influence through think tanks, state governments, and court appointments. Their goal is to provoke a direct constitutional confrontation, one that forces the nation to decide whether birthright citizenship should remain a defining right or be rewritten for a new era. Critics of President Trump's efforts warn that this legal offensive could have devastating consequences. Ending birthright citizenship, they argue, would immediately plunge millions of American-born children into legal uncertainty, potentially rendering them stateless. These children, born and raised in the U.S., would be denied the basic protections and rights afforded to citizens, such as access to education, health care, and due process. Civil rights groups have mobilized nationwide, filing amicus briefs, organizing protests, and launching educational campaigns to defend the 14th Amendment. They see President Trump's legal challenge not just as an immigration issue, but as an attack on the very meaning of American equality and inclusion. What's unfolding in 2025 is unprecedented. For the first time in over a century, the Supreme Court may be forced to reconsider whether birthright citizenship applies universally or whether it can be restricted based on a parent's immigration status. This is not just a legal technicality, it's a battle over identity, belonging, and the fundamental promise of American democracy. The outcome could redefine who is considered American and reshape the legal foundation of citizenship itself. So what do you think? Should birthright citizenship remain an unshakable constitutional right, or is it time to narrow its scope in light of today's immigration challenges? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're interested in the future of American immigration law and the broader implications of this legal fight, be sure to check out our next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay informed with In the Know News.